Okay, 3, 2.
Bam. Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of Live at the Family Barbecue. You are here with your motherfucking boy.
Of course.
A. Sultan and
Imani Shani was adding.
And we got a very special guest, a ex-neighbor of mine, all around dope individual, Miss OT.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is OT.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
So glad to have you in here. Like, you know, I feel like it's certain people like you see and then you just know, like, okay, it's a reason I'm supposed to be connected to this person.
Sure.
So we kept running into each other in here and they just got to the point, I was like, what you do?
Yeah.
Wow.
She was in education and, you know, she does stuff in the community. And then, you know, I had a background, of course, in schools and doing community work and stuff too. And then just seeing her as an entrepreneur as well and helping to build a brand, like I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely a person we got to sit down and talk to. So, so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming. I know you're a busy individual.
Thank you.
She was at the Super Bowl last week too. Slight flex.
Man, I know, for real.
And she was there with Dre. And Dre brought her. Real talk.
Okay, that's when I
watching
it on the
truck
couch. Nah, it was a great time though. It was a great time. I was at the top. Don't get it twisted. And I got free tickets. I did not pay that, so don't be counting my ducats. All right.
Hey, look, you know what? At the Super Bowl though, free tickets is still $2,000, $3,000 tickets. So that means you living good.
Right.
If nothing else, you a good person.
That's
That
what
part.
you know
And
that.
people rock
Giving
with
that
you.
zen, that good energy.
That's it. So we'll get into it. We'll just start off. Maybe it's something you want to tell us about yourself, like just as an opening, maybe just a little something. What should we know, or a little background information? We got questions, but
Of course. Okay, let's see. My name is OT. It's really Otisha.
Okay.
But everyone calls me OT, and I stuck with that because people just slaughter your name back in the 90s. And, you know, that Isha stigma that comes with that as well. So I just dropped the Isha for a long time in my life because I just was very ashamed, but I'm not anymore. I also learned that my name means reason to dream in Swahili.
wow.
So how could I run from that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very proud of that today. I am a South Central native. I went to King Drew from LA. You know, you got to say what high school you went to in order for it to validate where you're from.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm on a journey. I'm here now on a wine journey.
Wow.
I work for a wine company doing diversity, equity, and inclusion work, as well as community partnerships and just building culture and bridging the gap between the two worlds of the white world of wine and the other world that exists of all colors that are not in the wine industry, because it is very white male dominated, nothing else.
I love it.
I love it so much.
Real quick, hey, fit check real quick before we go. Hey, the coat
go ahead.
with the hoodie, with the Nefertiti chain.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, real quick, just a quick plug. We got to shout out the fresh. We like our fresh
I'm about
guests.
to bite this whole swag. Listen.
For real.
I did dress up for y'all. No, just
We
kidding.
love it. We appreciate it.
Thank
Nah,
you.
for
Thank
real.
you.
Well, go on ahead, Money. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to ask, like, as far as diversity, equity, and inclusion, what does that entail for you to do, like, on a daily basis?
So when I first got to the wine company, they were, you know, it was 3 white women doing what wine people do, but they were very passionate about wanting to change the world of wine by elevating women who were of color. And, you know, when I hear of women of color, it's a great term and all that, but you know, that to me really means for me elevating Black women,
Right.
because you know I understand the inclusion of everyone else, but until we handle our own backyard, our own barbecues, you know, then I can invite the other people in. But you know, I really wanted to change the landscape of what it looked like for Black people to be in the white spaces of wine. Because, I mean, there's a lot of Black companies coming up. You know, you got your McBride sisters, your Brown Estates. All the celebrities all the basketball players have a wine now. But they're still separate. It's still the segregation.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to bring those two worlds together and really close that gap up. So what I do is I offer wine experiences, wine tastings that also include diversity, equity, and inclusion activities. So instead of just, this wine is from this region and all of that, we also discuss what it means to be who you are, where are you from, where did you get your name from, who named you, and really having people just loosen up and talk about who they are and what they bring to the table. And then we go deep into the work of, okay, well, what does that mean for the position that you're in, the leadership role that you're in, and how can you take those intersectionalities and really build that brand up,
right,
and not leave out your voice of all the intersectionalities that you have.
Right.
Because a lot of times, we also look at ourselves from one lens,
right,
and it's like, oh, I'm a Black person, I'm a woman, I'm this and that, and it's like, but I'm an able-bodied person. There's people who have disabilities, and I want to make sure that I'm thinking about that when I'm looking at a brand. Like, how can we make wine more accessible for people who can't open a bottle of wine with a corkscrew?
Right.
Thinking of those type of innovative ideas, and I know that I'm a creative and I love to be creative, and the wine world was like the perfect way to do that, but also learn something new, and bring that back to my community.
That's beautiful.
I feel like you could just tell when somebody is good at what they do. Like, I
That's a
have never
fizznack.
experienced her in her element, but I could just tell.
That's a Fendi. She
That's
takes
crazy.
the craft serious.
Yeah, and I
Takes the
definitely,
craft serious.
I definitely went wine tasting too last year for Valentine's Day, and it was like one of the whitest experience I've ever had. And I can't say that I do it again, but with you saying what you do, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Thank you.
So tapping into that before I go to the first question. So do you organize like parties and stuff like that? So say like if Imani wanted to do something like that with her and 20 of her homegirls, she could come to someone like you and you could create an experience.
That is my job.
Wow.
Yep,
okay.
that's what I do. So you say, I want to get my friends together to have a wine experience, and you're thinking, I just want to do some tasting and some. Nah, we're gonna take it to the next level.
Right. It'll be super fly.
Yeah.
Okay. So how has South Los Angeles helped shape you into who you are today? Because you're obviously confident, stylish individual, someone who takes their craft seriously. And I could tell, like Imani said, that you're very passionate about what you do. So how did your community help shape who you are?
Well, first thing you said was confidence. I mean, if you grew up in the hood, you're going to build some confidence or you're not, okay? You learn how to shoot the dozens early.
That's
you're
right.
going to make it home every day.
Right.
So, I was also a very chubby child. So a lot of my life, I had to learn how to really stand up for myself and be confident in what I had on, and really just appreciate myself, because the world was not appreciating me as a little chubby girl.
Right.
So that helped a lot. And then South LA in general is just a place of culture. It's just so full of rich culture that when I was young, I didn't realize was molding so much into me. But now I recognize how much like style comes from LA, how much. I didn't know LA was such a desirable place to be growing up here, because when wherever you're from, you're like, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact.
But I really do understand now how much South Central is a gem that people kind of looked over until the houses became $1 million, and now here you are. But it was just really a place of innovation. People have always learned how to survive here, and not only survive, but make it look like we're thriving, even when we're just making it day to day. And that really taught me how to really just not fake it till you make it, but be confident in what you have and work with what you have.
Absolutely. It's funny. Now, I keep going back to fashion because I was watching, I don't know if you watched the episode with me too, Imani, but Black Market with Michael K. Williams, the one who just passed. He was in The Wire. He played Omar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he had there's an episode on there about boosting. And he was talking about all the clothes like that you can get in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like you could get Gucci, you could get Fendi. And I know you was talking about style and just even being able to stand up for yourself. And he talked about it in there, like how sometimes just that pair of Jordans or like that fresh hat,
Absolutely.
like something like that. Like and I remember that too, like just growing up, it was like, you're not getting at me today with these on.
Yeah.
Nobody could talk to me with
It's a
these
different kind
on.
of confidence.
Yeah,
You
so
got it on. You
Absolutely.
put it on.
So I think that's a part of just that culture too. That flat, and it's not even I I guess not a negative thing or something that you use to put yourself over people, but it's just something like this, how I feel like expressing myself. Like, and it's something about these threads that make me feel a certain type of way. So I feel you on that.
And going back to South Central, have you done work in South Central, or is there stuff that you want to do maybe in South or bring to South Central that you haven't done yet?
Okay, well, my whole life I've done work in South Central. I am a product of that place.
Yeah.
Like every day of my life I had to fight. No, but for 10 years I was doing community work in South LA. I was a youth counselor. I was a counselor at a charter school, Creed Academy, which is a school for young kids experiencing homelessness. It's actually, if you've ever been to the court where Nipsey is painted on the it's that school.
Okay.
Which is a great school for anybody needing resources or anything. Shout out to Hattie Mitchell for that. Y'all should have her on here. She's a great resource to have.
Okay.
Yes. But what was the question again?
Hey, we always do that. Oh, God.
Hey, it's a real podcast, man. Listen, we pick it right back. The question was basically, what have you done in South Central? And then is there anything you want to that you haven't done yet?
Yes. So, yeah, I worked at a nonprofit where I did a lot of work with young girls around self-esteem. I created a camp that still exists today called Camp Plus, which stands for Preserving Legacies, Uniting Sisterhoods. And they are taken away for a weekend. It's girls who are mothers, who are young mothers, who are homeless, who are experiencing domestic violence, but just a weekend for them to be young women, you know, just have a day or a weekend to just be in a respite and sleep comfortably, have a meal that they don't have to worry about who's paying for it, you know, not have their kids with them, all of that. And so that was one of my pride and joy projects that I worked on for 8 years. Wow. And now my goal is to bring a wine bar into Leimert Park.
Wow, that'd be dope. Yeah. I love that.
So. Golly.
Hey, look, that'd be the first time I try some wine. When you open your drink, I drink some.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah,
you got a picture for that and everything when it happens.
It's on recording.
I gotta open it just for that.
Hey, look, wait a minute, hold on. You got non-alcoholic wine, all right? I'm cheating.
They do make it, but it's a little blasphemous.
Hey, you're right. All right. I'll take a sip of the real drink.
Oh, gosh.
So dope.
Yeah, so that's my goal, you know.
I love that. Did you put a date on it yet? Like, you want to buy, or it's just like, that's just the goal?
I have not. I'm in my education stage right now, trying to learn as much as I can about the business. But, you know, it'll come.
Yeah, absolutely. We believe in you, so I know it's going to happen for sure.
I done said it out loud now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
So in your bio, you also talked about how it was your or you felt it was your responsibility to create spaces for growth and transformation. I feel you on that. So I wanted you to explain that, and also how you feel like you want to bring other people in, because I know that could be a daunting task, just like feeling like you got to do it, you know, but knowing this is like, it really does take a village.
Right.
So is it by you leading by example, or how you think that's going to happen?
I think it's a little bit of all of that. So through the company that I work for, we've created this movement called the Dragonfly Effect, as our bottles have dragonflies on them. But it's basically the same concept of the one drop rule of, you know, you drop one drop of water and it's a ripple effect, right? So the swarm effect, the dragonfly effect, is basically me being one dragonfly. If I share that with another dragonfly person, then that person we become two, we become a swarm. Absolutely. And then the more people that we bring, the more we overpower, right? And so for me, I do believe in leading by example, but also, like, I'm not the example. We are all teaching one another together. We're kind of walking alongside one another, rather than me saying, I'm the leader, follow me. It's, hey, this is where I'm going. I think this is a great destination. You know, you got some goals. I think they align. We can all walk together. I'm putting pebbles down for other people to not have to take as many steps as I had to take, you know. But understanding that I'm gonna make mistakes too as a leader, you know, and not holding me up to this pedestal, me personally and everyone else, and understanding that, you know, we are all in this as a collective,
right?
And understanding that the only way we're gonna get to the end goal is if everyone puts in a little bit and everyone pulls their part in, and you know, get to that end goal together. So
I love it, man.
And what has it taken so far to get others kind of involved and inspired to like help or join you or, you know, spread the word? Or
I don't know if I've gotten them all yet.
Right.
No, really, education.
Yeah.
Education. That's the best, you know, we want to pull people along and make them come and listen to what we have to sell or give or whatever it is. But really, educating people and letting them make their own decisions. That's the true ambassadors are built into that. You know, you don't have to do as much work when people actually believe in it and have that passion.
Yeah.
But when you're just like, you know, here's a product, here's a thing, take this, and then they're like, this is trash. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that we spend our money on every day that we don't care about, or we buy it because it's trendy and we know that it's a terrible company.
Right.
But why not start putting our money where our you know this phrase,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, why not really be intentional about your purchases and intentional about what you want to be impactful on? And that's why I really appreciate Teneral Cellars, is because, you know, what, not only do I get to, you know, be a lush and buy wine, I also can get my philanthropy in at the same time, because every purchase is 10% is given back to a scholarship program for women in wine to be elevated and use it however they need to elevate their wine education.
I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely love that. So speaking and tapping into your educator and community activist side, do you feel like, because I know you just said education, is that what you feel like our community is lacking or needs more of in terms of like programs and, you know, it could be seminars, facilities. Like, do you think that's what we need more in your time that you've spent there?
I would actually say support would be, and I don't mean financially at all, because tons of money have been sent to the different neighborhoods, but it's not allocated properly. The resources are not exactly what the people need. So honestly, support of the youth, and listening to what the community actually needs rather than what we perceive is needed. And for me, support looks like caring adults in the community, listening to young people. It's about people really understanding the trials and tribulations of growing up in that climate, and what that means for development on the brain, on the body, on the growth, and why that is a barrier to being successful in other ways. And so I think a lot of support mentally and emotionally would be my biggest come out of that.
I agree. And my time there too, I feel like it was the same thing. Like, you know, especially having the right type of people in there to deal with the kids, you know, and consistency. I feel like that was one of the toughest things. Consistency. Especially because you know how much teachers aren't paid, you know, or compensated the way they're supposed to. So it's hard to get them to stay around and build those relationships. And, you know, sometimes that's the only person that kid may have that they trust in.
Absolutely.
You know, so to not be able to take care of individuals like that so they can actually build up the programs, like you said, it's one thing to have the money, but to be able to support and really put everything into it that's needed. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, pay teachers more.
Yes, for sure.
That part.
Please.
Period. Teachers have educators in general, like, it's just it's not easy.
It's not at all.
It's not easy.
I have another person y'all should have on your show. She's the youngest principal in LAUSD.
What?
She's a black woman by the name of Brittany Jones.
Come on.
I feel like I heard that name before, too.
Yeah. She's, it just happened. She's at, I forget the name of the school right now, but yeah, you should check her out. She's definitely making waves for us in the school district.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So, you know, after a long day at school, you know, it'd be stressful, you know, especially working, you know, it's stressful working at the school sometime.
3 o'clock.
If I did drink, I'd be coming home to some of this.
Oh, teachers are the biggest consumers of wine.
So what got you into or what got you interested into the wine industry?
Honestly, I've always really been interested in being a business owner. Okay. I didn't know what I wanted to do around that, but I knew I wanted it to be in my community, and I knew I wanted it to be something elevated. And my wife actually wanted to open a sports bar. And as soon as we met, that was one of the first things she ever told me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever, that's an interesting concept.
Right.
So later, we're talking, and we drink a lot of wine, we drink a lot of wine and enjoy wine, and I was like, wouldn't it be interesting to have a wine bar in Lemert? And she was like, that would be dope, but we should bottle our own champagne. And the reason that's a big deal is because, you can't have champagne unless it comes from Champagne, France, right?
I didn't know that.
You cannot call it champagne if it did not come from that region.
Wow.
That's why you have Prosecco, sparkling wine, because that's the difference is they don't have a stamp of approval.
You're dropping gems. You're dropping gems now.
So, after she said that, I was like, all right, we're going to do it. So I started going to different wine, little interest or whatever. My wife is in politics, and she had some type of a women's conference.
Okay.
And a part of the conference was free wine tasting, and they sent you 3 bottles of wine to your house. All you had to do was register by a certain day. It was free. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm trying to get in on this. So I did it, and they delivered the wine, and then I went to the tasting, and the woman was so passionate, not about the wine, but about the vision and mission of changing the wine industry that it ignited me. And I was like, at the time I was working for a nonprofit in South LA, and I wasn't happy. I had been there for a long time, but it was time for me to move on.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is my sign. You feel it, she said it, send her an email. So I sent her an email. Next day she was like, let's get on the call. And about 2 weeks later, I was putting in my 2-week notice.
That's how you know.
That's right. I know that's right.
When the stars align like that, that's what it's, that's definitely how it's supposed to go down.
That's amazing. And since you've been in the industry, do you find that it's growing overall, and specifically for women? Have you found that women are getting more involved as well, or there's more opportunities for women?
Absolutely. I do see women opening doors for more women. I see them creating spaces and kind of knocking doors down in a way, coming together, creating collectives that make them stronger in the industry to be able to do that. So yeah, definitely seeing women come through strong, but even more, I'm seeing a lot more Black people, which I like, and not just in their purchasing. We are consumers; we love to consume some things,
right?
But seeing us actually be on the other side, and seeing not even just stopping at bar owners, but growers of the grapes, and sommeliers are coming up, and I just love to see it.
That's cool, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, because I want you to see this.
Okay.
So I love the fact that you are building up and helping women in the industry. That's great. Now, they get on me every week in here because I love Future. They be trying to say, getting on me. Now, you see the whole room is women, all right?
Yeah.
You see the whole room. Now, I just be saying, don't point out the obvious, though. Who do I keep around me?
Yeah.
Enlightening great sisters. But I just listen to Future. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Amir hates women.
Next question.
See what I got to deal with every week?
I'm a lesbian, so I'm in the middle. My mind be in the middle. I feel you on the Future. Every now and again.
All right. Hey, look, man. Stick talk. No, so.
Be quiet, boy.
Hey, look.
Diamonds do be dancing.
You feel me? Jump man. Metro right booming up to something. Wait, so we want to highlight you too. So you got something special. You just received a scholarship from the org. What's it called? The Org for Women of Divine and Spirits. So talk about what that means to you specifically. What it mean to get that, and what do you plan on doing? With that scholarship.
Yep. So the scholarship it's actually a leadership academy. So there's a whole curriculum that goes behind it for over, I believe it's 9-month period.
I love it.
And so they'll be taking me through different leadership exercises. I'll be getting a lot of training on how to think like a CEO and things of the sorts. And what that means for me is someone's giving me a chance, really, especially because this is a white dominated world, and even the organization is founded by, I believe, a bunch of white women, which is great that they are expanding in such a way that, I mean, if you go through their scholarship recipients of all the different scholarships that they do give out, super diverse.
Wow.
Super diverse. So I'm really proud of that. And really this means that I get to bring someone up behind me after this. So that's what I see this as, you know. If it wasn't for me being with this company, I would have never knew this existed at all. And now that I know that it does exist, I will ensure that I see more people like me getting this opportunity.